Hello YouTube family, welcome back to the channel. Have you ever gotten home and needed to make something quick, fast, easy, and that would fill up a lot of people in a short period of time? Well, today Dawn's going to show you guys how to make Kobasi stir fry, also known as Kobasi fried rice. I'm Jerry.
And I'm Dawn.
And we're
living the Newcomb life. Okay guys, we're going to make what we call Kobasi stir fry in our house, but it's actually a fried rice. It can be made with other meats besides Kobasi, but what we have found is the Kobasi tends to give it a really awesome flavor. So I've made it with ham before, chicken, a couple of things. You just don't get as much flavor from it. But what we're going to do to get started is, so here are all of my ingredients. I have 2 packages of Kobasi. I have 1 can of corn. I have 1 package of peas and carrots. It's not always easy to find just peas and carrots in the grocery store. This is a frozen bag. If you cannot find just peas and carrots in your grocery store, you can buy a bag of carrots, little diced carrots, and a bag of peas if you want. Or you could use mixed vegetables. It will have the corn already in it, but it will also usually have green beans in it. So if you don't mind that being in your fried rice, by all means, go ahead and use the mixed vegetables. We have an onion, and then we used Yoshida sauce for our sauce of flavor on the rice. And then I'm going to cook with the avocado oil and the sesame oil. So what we're going to do to get started is we're going to go ahead and...
Eggs.
Oh, and I missed the eggs. But we have 3 eggs as well. So what we're going to do to get started is I'm going to go ahead. This is a microwavable container. It's actually Pampers Chef, and I love it. We're going to go ahead and open up our frozen vegetables, and we're going to pour them into this dish. I'm also going to, I've already opened the top of my corn, and I am just going to leave the liquid in when I pour it in here. And then what we're going to do is we're going to add enough water so that everything is covered in this dish. And then we're going to put it in the microwave. We're just trying to get the frozen vegetables to not be frozen and get them warm. So I'm going to go ahead and add enough water to cover our vegetables and put this in the microwave. So I usually start with 4 minutes on the microwave, and we're just going to let that heat up while we cut up everything else for our fried rice. Okay, we're going to go ahead and start with our onion. Okay, so we have our onions all diced up. We're going to move on to our Kobasi and just open this up. So the way that I do this is you can cut it into smaller pieces, and you want to just cut it into little rounds like this, and then we're going to cut those into quarters. So for instance, you can take 2 of these and you can stack them up, and you cut them in half and then turn it and cut them in half again. So then we're going to get little pieces of Kobasi that are like this. So they're about 1/4 of an inch thick and into quarters. Okay, we have our 2 things of Kobasi all cut up, and our onion. And our microwave has gone off with our vegetables in it. We are going to take these vegetables out. Now remember, we put enough water in here to cover these vegetables. So we want to, so they're warm now. We want to drain off the water and put them back in the microwave to get them good and hot. So we're just going to pour off the water. And as you can see in our bowl here, all of our vegetables are now thawed and they're warm. But we're gonna put them back in the microwave to get them hot, because when I put them in my fried rice, I mean, they're gonna heat up a little bit, but we want them to be ready to go. So we're gonna put these back in the microwave for about 3 more minutes and we'll be all set. So we're gonna crack our eggs and get them ready. So we're going to take a fork and we're just going to break the yolk, just like if you were making scrambled eggs. So you just want to mix them up so that the yolk and the white are mixed together. And then we're just going to set this aside, just so we're ready when the time comes. So we're going to start our stove on about medium heat. This is an extra large skillet that I use all the time. And like I said, you can cut this in half. You can do a quarter of this if you want, if you're not cooking for as many people. But like I said, this makes a great lunch to take with you wherever you go. We're going to add some sesame oil. I'm going to add about 2 tablespoons of sesame oil. And then I'm going to add some avocado oil to this. We do the sesame oil to give it some extra flavor, but we're going to add the avocado oil to just give it, and there's about 2 tablespoons of avocado oil as well, since we're doing such a large batch of this. We're going to start with our onions. As soon as this gets warm, we're gonna cook our onions until they get clear. So we're gonna go ahead and put this in our skillet. We're gonna give it a little stir to coat them in the oil, break up the little pieces. And we're just going to cook this until it gets clear and the onions get tender. One of the things that I did not get out when I started this is some garlic. I use prepackaged garlic, but you can use garlic cloves and mince them in here, but I have some prepackaged garlic. I'm going to add a little bit to this. It's just minced garlic in a bottle, and I'm going to add, I guess you would add as much as you want. We like a lot of garlic, so I am going to add about 3 tablespoons of garlic, but this is preference. If you like more or less garlic, use it. Okay. We're just going to keep stirring these until the onions start to cook. You know, if you have someone in your family that doesn't like onions, sometimes kids don't like onions, you can cut these onions much smaller and then cook them to the point where they almost fall apart. You'll still get the flavor, but they won't know they're there. That is definitely something that you can do. We love onions, so we're good to go. So mine are cut up kind of chunky. Okay. So our onions are starting to get translucent, which is what we want. These can continue to cook as we cook our Kobasi. So I'm going to go ahead and put this in our skillet. Little trick, guys, always use the back of your knife when you're scraping something off of your cutting board so that you don't dull your knife. Now we are going to go ahead and stir this so that our sesame oil and our avocado oil get on our Kobasi, and that it can, now Kobasi is cooked already, but we want it to get warm, and we kind of want it to get a little like caramelized, just a little bit. It makes it taste wonderful. Okay guys, you can see here, see when I flip it over, you can see how some of the pieces have gotten a little bit brown, kind of a caramelized. Some of the onions have gotten a little caramelized. This is what we want it to look like. This is where you get a lot of your flavor from. And then what we're going to do is we're going to push all of the kobasi to the outside of the pan. And then we are going to take our eggs that we whipped up a little bit ago. And you can see I'm just doing this with a fork. We just want to mix them together. And we're going to dump them right in the center of our pan. Basically, this whole thing, except the rice, is all cooked in the same pan. So we're going to let it go for just a few minutes, and then we're going to start just scraping the bottom of our pan. You can see our egg is starting to cook. I'm going to reduce our temperature just a little bit. We're at about medium heat right now because we don't want to burn our eggs. So you just want to keep the eggs moving. It's okay if kobasi or onions gets in it because we're just going to keep like kind of chopping at it. And so it'll cook, and those pieces of meat and onion will kind of fall out of the egg. So you just want to keep it moving. And we're going to stir it all together here in just a few minutes anyway. So you can see our eggs now are getting cooked. Now we're just going to stir everything together. Make sure we don't have any big, huge clumps of eggs. And then what we're going to do is we're going to grab our vegetables out of the microwave. Now remember, we've already drained the water off of these, so it's just vegetables at this point. You can see how beautiful, a lot of color. We're just going to dump them in our skillet. And we're going to give them a toss. The colors of this are beautiful. Okay guys, so this is our rice. Now I cook this in my pressure cooker. This is the best way to cook rice. It is phenomenal. And if you want to know how we made the rice in the pressure cooker, just check out our video on making rice in your pressure cooker. Super easy and the best way that I have found to make rice. So that information will be in the show notes below. Check it out. Great way to make rice. So I have 4 cups of rice here in my pressure cooker pot. I'm going to start putting that into our skillet. And we want to kind of mix it in. For me, it's a little bit easier to stir it in as I add it, because when you add all 4 cups of rice in at one time, it becomes very difficult to stir. So I'm going to add this in little bits at a time. Get all of this rice in the skillet. Almost got it all in here. You could do this exact same recipe on a Blackstone if you have one. One of these days I will get a Blackstone, and this will be one of the recipes that I do on a Blackstone. So you could basically do this exact same thing on a Blackstone. So we're gonna let all these flavors continue to meld together, and I am going to take my Yoshida sauce, and I have in a cup here, I have 1 cup of water. I am going to add my Yoshida sauce to that 1-to-1, just to thin it down a little bit. If you've never had Yoshida sauce, it's amazing. It's great for stir fries, but it's real thick and strong, so you can see. So now I have 1 cup of Yoshida and 1 cup of water. And you can adjust that if the flavor isn't enough for you. But, and what we're gonna do is we're just gonna pour this over little bits at a time and stir it together. And if you don't have a way to get Yoshida sauce, or maybe don't like the flavor of Yoshida, you could use a teriyaki or a favorite Asian sauce that you like. You can use soy sauce. It doesn't have as much flavor if you just use soy sauce, but you could do that in a pinch. If that's all you've got, then that's what you can use. I would encourage you to try Yoshida sauce though, because it's amazing. So by the time you're done, all of your rice should be a beautiful brown color. You want to give it just a few minutes to soak into your rice with the heat. But guys, that's all there is to this. This is a super quick and easy meal, and I've never had anybody that didn't just love it. Well guys, this was a great, easy meal. I think it's time for a taste test.
Did somebody say taste test? All right, you ready?
Yes.
All right,
I didn't have lunch today. I'm hungry. This smells amazing.
It smells really good.
It's very warm. It has a lot of flavor, guys. That Yoshida sauce is phenomenal.
Wow.
And the Kobasi gives it that savory taste.
Absolutely.
So good. You know, the vegetables are cooked well.
Yeah, the vegetables pop. They're not mushy by any means.
Right. Still firm.
The rice is cooked perfectly. It's firm.
Yeah.
I mean...
Yeah, that is the best way to cook rice. Remember, if you want to know how to cook rice in a pressure cooker, check out our video on that. It's so good.
That is awesome. It's very close to pork fried rice. If I had to make it comparable to something, that's probably the closest thing to it. But
yeah,
that is absolutely amazing.
So much flavor. Guys, if you like this video, give me a thumbs up. Let me know how much you liked it. Give me a comment down below. How do you make your fried rice? What's your favorite? If you like these kind of videos, hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so that you can come back for all of our videos. We have some excellent cooking videos and some fun gardening videos. So come on back for more, and we'll see you on the next one.